Mental health includes our emotional, our psychological, and our social well being. It affects the way that we think, feel, and act. In today's video, I'm going to go over my mental health story. I will discuss when I discovered that I was dealing with mental health issues, the help that I receive, and the goals that I intend on achieving with battling mental health. Let's go. So I actually discovered that I was dealing with mental health issues back in 2014, 2015. Like most people that deal with mental health issues in the very beginning, I had absolutely no clue that I was suffering through these issues. It was actually suggested to me by a friend that I go get seen by a mental health counselor. We were sitting in front of my house and I was on alert. I was jumpy, I was anxious, I was irritable when I was talking to him, and he told me that I needed to go get seen. So I took that advice and I actually went the next day to see if I could self-refer to be seen by a mental health counselor. The thing is, I didn't know what to expect. I've never dealt with mental health issues, or at least I didn't know that I was dealing with mental health issues, so I didn't know how to navigate when speaking to a counselor. So naturally, because I was in an unknown environment, that had me worried and the anxiety went up, it skyrocketed. But I knew that I wanted to get help and I know that I needed help. I just needed to feel comfortable with doing so. But here's the thing, and I'm being honest, a part of me was very embarrassed that I was going to see mental health counselors. I didn't let anyone know I was going. My chain of command knew, so my battalion commander and battalion sergeant major knew, but my immediate supervisors didn't know, my friends didn't know, my wife didn't even know that I was going to see a counselor because I was just embarrassed. I did not want people to look at me differently because I was going to see a mental health counselor. And that's the thing. I feel like I'm not the only person that has been through that certain situation because we're worried about what another person is thinking about us, but we're not trying to do things to benefit and to better ourselves. And I was failing myself in that situation because I feel like if I would have just told people what I was going through, more people would have, one, either they've been through what I've been through, or they could sympathize with what I'm going through and try to help me through the process. Instead, I was embarrassed. I did not let anyone know. And because of that, I was just suffering by myself and I was continuing to suffer, even though I was seeing a counselor. Because to be quite honest, I was not being 100% honest with the counselor. And the reason being is I was afraid that if the counselor seen me unfit for duty, I was going to be kicked out of the military. Who's been there? And I'm grateful that I actually took the leap to be seen by a counselor. I wasn't ready for it, but I needed it. I learned that I was carrying around a lot of baggage that possibly went back to, my childhood, but most recently from the time that I was going to be seen by a therapist, it went back to my deployment back in 2003. It's never ever too late to be seen for counseling, to get help, to get better, to try to, take control of your life. But I do wish that I would have caught on to this sooner and been seen by a counselor sooner so that I'm not battling with these same issues that are happening now that happened back, almost 14 years ago. So when I first started seeing a counselor, I was going for 45 minutes twice a week. And as time came closer for my family and I to relocate to a new assignment, once I got there and got stationed and settled in, I was seen again twice a week for about 4 months while we were there. And then it moved to once a week. I was being seen for PTSD, depression, and anxiety. And with the anxiety came irritability and insomnia. So I was dealing with a lot of stuff, but I continue to be seen by mental health because I want to get better every single day. So now that I'm out of the Army, I use the VA for my mental health counseling. I honestly use the VA for pretty much everything. I am seen by an individual counselor. That session is every 2 weeks. And I'm actually in a group session, and that session is for 8 weeks, and it's every week. And I can tell you this, I'm no longer embarrassed to admit to anyone that I'm being seen for mental health because I have goals that I'm hoping to achieve by continuing my mental health therapy is to be emotionally and socially available for not just myself, but for my friends and most importantly, my family. And for that, I'm gonna continue to go to counseling as long as it takes. I also want to be more vulnerable, have a more vulnerable conversation with people that are close to me. And honestly, that's really hard. I think it's hard for men, period. But when you're suffering from, mental health illness, it is tough because you instantly, when you feel like you're not being heard, you instantly go to 100 real fast. I am very guilty of that. And so now I want to try to be more vulnerable with my conversation, with my words, expressing myself so that the people around me can understand me better and they can actually see the true emotion and the true feelings that I have when I'm actually, having conversations with them. I also want to get to a point where I am no longer taking medication. I don't know how long that's going to be. I don't really know. But I want to get to a point where I can function on my own without medication. Lastly, I want to be a spokesperson, if you will, of mental health because there are so many people suffering in silence who are afraid to reach out for help, who don't know where to turn, who don't know who they can talk to about this situation. And I want to be a beacon of hope for anyone that is dealing with any type of mental health issues. I want people to know that they don't have to feel shame, they don't have to be embarrassed, they don't have to worry about the opinion of other people when they're trying to better themselves on a daily basis by seeking help through mental health. So that was my mental health journey. I really truly hope that my story resonates with someone that may be dealing with mental health in their own way. I want to leave you guys with this. If you need help, if you need someone to talk to, there are hotlines, there are hospitals, there are mental health clinics that you can go to receive that help. If you have a pastor, a mentor, a loved one that you confide in for anything, I'm sure they will be more than willing to listen to you, express to them how you're feeling right now in the moment when you're dealing with your mental health. Please get help if you need help. Oh, and in the description, I'm going to place phone numbers and information for anybody that may need a push in the right direction when it comes to trying to identify if you have mental health issues, as well as a hotline to talk to someone if you're dealing with mental health issues. If you gained value from this video or you know someone that may gain value from this video, please share, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel so that I can continue to provide you guys with value lessons from mental health that I've come across over my years of dealing with it. I want to continue to add value to anyone that watches this channel, and I hope that in return you are adding value to those that you interact with on a daily basis. Please take care, and I'll see you in the next video.